All right.
Alright. You good?
Yes.
Are we on the internet? We are on the internet. Shout out to uh, Brian from Talks Machina. Anyway,
Right. Because he's gonna
um,
see this.
totally. That's just the thing he says. So,
Oh.
um, anyway, last we left off, after several months away from home, Togar had returned back to Thogladar and reunited with his mom and dad, staying there at their house for the evening. Well, actually, for the early morning into the afternoon. He spent all night back at the uh, shop working on stuff. So you're all kind of just laid out in various parts of the house. Togar in his own bed for the first time in quite a while, but Bungdo in the bed across the room. Um, Maya and Tormilla on couches front room, and Trogdor with his summoned mount sleeping in the street out front.
Yep. Sounds like Trogdor.
So, yeah, without further ado, Trogdor,
Hmm?
you are stirred from your sleep, what feels like, oh, maybe 2, 3 hours into it, um, by the sound of clanking armor and clopping hooves. As you kind of shake yourself awake after the somewhat loud noise has already at least somewhat roused you from sleep, you see standing in front of the Hammer Striker household. Well, it looks like a small detachment of guards of some sort. You see three
Are
on
they
foot.
Mounties?
You see three on foot carrying assorted blunt weaponry and wielding shields in their offhands. And you see two mounted atop large goats, wielding warhammers and great big shields.
Big goats?
Goats.
Goats!
Giant goats, almost as big as your mount.
What? That's huge!
Big goats. That would
Goats!
be very, very tiny. The dwarves would look very tiny on the goats. Like they would look silly on the goats.
I mean, essentially, the goats are like maybe a little bigger than horses.
Right.
Bear
They're
in
just
mind, Trogdor, your mount is not huge because it's
That was large size.
yeah, it's about a
as are
horse.
horses. Goats are
Um,
probably medium, like actual goats.
yeah, normal
Yeah.
goats are borderline small even.
Yeah.
Um,
So they're
but
like
yeah,
medium, borderline large for this. These are.
Still a big goat.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a couple big fucking goats, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
They'd be like as big as me then, or a little bigger.
Yeah, a little bigger actually. But yeah, so you see this interesting looking group approaching the front door as you are kind of lounging back against your mount, maybe 15 feet or so from the front door. Um, one of the guards that's on foot walks up to the front door and begins to bang on it.
Loudly.
Certainly trying to get someone's attention.
About how far away am I from the door?
15, 20 feet.
Alright, I'm just gonna watch. See what's going on at first.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have woken up from him pounding on the door, right?
Probably not. You're essentially in the back corner of the house.
Gotcha.
But I would say Maya and Tormilla are probably woken up as the door begins to rattle and shake as some armored hand is now pounding on it.
Do I know where Togar's parents are?
Yes, they are upstairs, towards the back of the house. But yeah.
I just don't want to answer the door for them. So,
Okay.
I'll ask Tormilla to go see if she can find them.
Okay. Yeah, and she again kind of shakes herself awake and heads off toward the stairs and rather shortly disappears upstairs. Anything you'd like to do in the
Yell 1 second towards the door.
Okay. Kind of pausing for a moment to acknowledge your response. You hear a gruff voice from the other side of the say, "Open up at once. By the order of General Snowhand himself, we are here to arrest the criminal Togar Hammerstriker."
I'm getting changed.
I can hear this, right?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Alright, I would like to get up and cautiously approach and say, what's going on? I know this Togar. I've never heard of him being a criminal.
One of the mounted soldiers looks over at you and says, "This man stands accused of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He has only recently returned to town, according to our reports, and we intend to bring him to justice."
Yes, I've been a part of his group for about a month and a half now. Who did he kill and when?
He stands accused of murdering his own brother in cold blood.
What? He told me he saw someone else kill him.
If you know of any other witnesses to such an occurrence, might help your friend a bit. But in the meantime, we must bring him in.
Alright, am I able to just walk in since I'm kind of a guest there?
The door's
Yeah, the door is locked.
Oh, okay. Just wait there then.
Okay. Togar is still fast asleep in the back bedroom.
Do his parents come quickly?
Yeah, around the time this exchange is wrapping up, and Maya, you kind of just hear muffled voices from the other side of the door.
I didn't hear. Could I try to hear what was said?
Yeah, I would say it makes sense for you to attempt to hear. So, yeah, go ahead and, well, yeah, go ahead and just roll a check.
Just anything, or
Perception?
Perception check.
okay.
Okay. You can't hear everything like crystal clear, but it sounds like this guy just said that Togar stands accused of murder.
Okay. So do his parents show up now?
Yeah, as the conversation with Trogdor kind of winds down, Carmilla comes walking back downstairs with Togar's mother, who, not knowing any of what's just gone down, walks right over to the door.
Can I grab her arm and whisper to her what I heard? I thought I heard.
Yep.
from upstairs. You hear.
But both upstairs and toward the back corner of this floor, as Togar takes after his father very much.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. So her face kind of goes pale upon hearing this. This certainly seems like news to her. But sort of shaking now, she gives you a nod and goes to answer the door. And yeah, she slides the locks open, uh, swings the door just a bit, kind of cracks it, gets out, and um, essentially asks the detachment of guards out front, "Can I help you?" And the one who seems to be taking the lead kind of just retells the whole Togar stands accused of murder thing, and says, "I insist that you bring him out. I know he must be here, as this is, to our knowledge, the only familial home he has here." She looks quite shaken, but she turns around to Camilla and says, "Dear, can you go and well, fetch Togar from the back room?" Tormilla heads back, and Togar, you hear a knock at the door.
I just... Yeah, what? Huh? Who is it?
It's Tormilla. Please come out at once.
Why?
Well, seems to have been a misunderstanding of sorts, and she kind of trails off. She just says, "You should probably come out."
I'll get up, go open the door, and say, what is it? Rubbing my eyes.
She tries to convey things as quietly as she can.
Do I have any fucking idea why they would be doing this? Like, it has
No,
nothing...
I mean, you saw this murder go down.
Like, was there an activist group or something looking to try to accuse me or anything? Or...
Not to your knowledge.
Okay. As soon as she relays that they're calling for me to come out, I start dressing. I'm just putting, all my shit on. Weapons, armor, everything.
Okay.
And I'll look at Terminal and say, how many are there?
It's like the 3, 4, 5 out front.
I just look at her and I say, I think this is tied to whoever's trying to kill you. Because this was not something that I left. I left on good terms. And the fact that they want to
agree.
The fact that they want to arrest me for my own brother's murder, as if my family and mother, especially my mother, as if she hasn't gone through enough. Now they're trying to arrest me.
And around this time, you hear the front door creak open a little more as, your mother allows the guards in, at least those who are on foot. And,
Do I have a window in my room?
You do. So essentially, let's do this.
Alright. Oh, that's Tormilla.
That's the dragon.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
You only see yourself. I see... Oh, that's Phil.
Yeah.
That's right, that's Bungdo. Alright, I'm going to... First thing I'm going to do, as I'm dressing, I'm going to throw something at Bungdo to wake him up and say, Bungdo, wake up. We got an issue.
What? What do you want?
I've got guards coming for me.
What?
I gotta get out of
Immediately
here.
produces flame in his hand.
No, put that away. Do you have a way to... You don't have a way to disguise me or anything, do you, Bungdo? Magically?
He thinks for a moment. as his character sheet loads. um, I'm afraid not.
Thankfully, I do, and I snap my fingers and I cast Disguise Self on myself.
All right.
I'm going to be a female, look like a female version of like just a female dwarf, generic female dwarf A,
Play yourself,
Okay.
but with breath.
basically. I mean, I obviously I change like my hair color and my appearance and such.
Okay. Duly noted.
I do not want to look at all like Togar.
Okay.
So, I look over at Bungdo and look over at Tormilla and say, I'm going out the window. Tormilla, you might want to join. Bungdo, you do you. And I will drag... So the window is... This is the window, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where's Tormilla? She's like out here?
Yeah, so essentially right here, the door to your room, you gather that she's probably just on the other side. Or, well, you know she's on the other side.
Alright, I say, Tormilla, come in.
Alright, and so she makes her way in.
Okay, and I look at Bungdo and say, Bungdo, let my Trogdor know to meet us. Okay, how far is it from where we are now to out of the city?
Out of the city? Probably... If you were in a hurry, you could probably make that happen in 20 minutes.
And then is the armor shop closer or farther away from the entrance? And there's only one entrance, right?
Well, what you know of the cavern structure is basically there's the main entrance, you know, the front gates that go through the pair of large fortified gates that you've seen. And then there are the mines, which just go deeper in the mountain as far as you know.
Alright. I get a sly look on my face and eyeball Bungdo. I got an idea. If we get the window trick, come. I say, Bungdo, come here. You're going to be my friend, and I say that in air quotes.
Okay. And yeah, at this point, you can hear that there are a number of guards that have made their way in. Sounds as though 2 sets of steps.
I want to follow in after him.
Okay.
At
Not
this
like
at this point, I'm actually going to. I'm going to say, look over Bungdo and say, actually, Togar hopped out the window and took off outside, and I will get back into bed. And I will say, just for the sake of it, my disguise self is just simple clothing that I had on. Like, it wasn't any armor or anything.
Okay.
Am I able to take the simple clothing off? Like, is that... I don't know how the disguise self thing kind of works.
So is your goal to essentially look like a naked dwarven female?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I would say, let's see. The extent of the illusion is up to you. So, I would say, yeah, you'd be able to do that, but, you know, of course, as per usual, somebody, like, touched your clothes or whatever, they
Yeah. I just
know.
wanna make it look like I'm naked.
Okay.
And I'll climb back into bed and just kind of... I'll rough up my hair, make it look like I was getting down. And I say, Bungdo, act natural. Tormilla, tell them Togar just took off out the window. And I will just kind of lay back down and act like I'm, basically act like I'm asleep.
Okay, at this point, Bungdo darts over and says, There would have to be an empty bed, so scoot over.
Well, no, I was going to be with. Oh, fine. I'll scoot over. I scoot over. I'll let Bungdo hop in.
Okay.
He just wants to see a naked woman.
Make a dwarf. Yeah, he's curious to see if they look exactly the same. So I slide over and act like I'm asleep.
All right. Yeah, and at this point there is a loud knock on the bedroom, saying, "Togar Hammerstriker, surrender yourself."
And I look over at Termilla and mouth the words "open it," and act like I'm back asleep.
Okay. Termilla walks over and swings the door open, and says, "I'm afraid he's disappeared." Let out. Which point the closest guard just kind of pushes his way into the room to kind of inspect everything and see what's going on.
And I assume he makes a loud noise doing such, right? Like clanking and shit.
Yeah, like there's clanging because his armor is like hitting Tomilla's, like out of the way.
At this point, I flip over and in seeing him just and just scream, like essentially scream like a girl.
All right,
and kind of like pull the blankets up to cover myself.
All right, the guard jumps first of all and just looks with this surprised, shocked expression on his face, and kind of averts his eyes once he realizes, "Oh, my apologies."
And at this point, I nudge Bungdo, and like I'll pull the covers up over my like mouth and just whisper to him, "Be mad."
Okay. So yeah, Bungdo like kind of pokes his head up out of the covers. What is the meaning of this? Can't a happy couple sleep in peace?
And I kind of like cower behind Bungdo.
See here. I think we gotta make some checks.
Come on, Bungdo!
So the guard again just kind of keeps his gaze averted and says, "My apologies. Togar Hammerstriker, he was here, yes?" Kind of looks at the two of you and
I look at Bungdo. I look at the guard and I just say, I'm just with Bungdo."
He says, yes, he was here. He's not." Looks over. Says, he was right there. The guard walks over and, kind of like flips the sheets and everything. Not seeing anything there.
Actually, while Bungdo was saying something, can I have casted Mage Hand and invisibly opened, like, okay, is the window like a window of like our house where it opens up, or does it just fold out? Like, does it open out?
I would say windows here would probably open out.
Okay. Would that be something I could do kind of quietly?
You could go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Let's do it. And that's with my Mage Hand, and I just want to invisibly open the window.
Okay. Alright, yeah, so it does soundlessly, noiselessly swing open, though it was left ajar by someone leaving the premises.
Okay, and so after Bungdo says, "Oh, he was right there," I look over and I say, "Brr, it's cold. The window's open. Maybe he jumped out the window."
You hear him. You hear the guard mutter something under his breath before just kind of taking off. Again, shoving past Tormilla, not even recognizing her. Luckily.
So as he charges out, I secretly reach over and give Bungdo a high five.
All right. At that point, you hear him kind of barking orders to the other two guards who have entered the house, and they all begin making for the front door. All of them now coming back into view of Maya and Trog in the front room. Is there anything anyone would like to do at this point?
I would like to. I get. Am I? So this is kind of where I was. I'm not really sure about the disguise self. If I put on, or like, should I? Do I have to put on clothes, or can I just have clothes on now that I'm? Or I'm not allowed to change the disguise, right?
Let's see.
Because it doesn't say you can't. It just doesn't say you can either. Essentially, I just want to be your average dwarf with clothes on now. Like same dwarf, just
Okay.
naked.
I would allow it.
Okay. So yes, I have just basic clothing on. I hop out of bed, and I will just get up and say, well, we got to get out of here. There's something going on, and I'm not sure what.
Okay. So yeah, the three guards are making for the door. Is anyone doing anything before they leave?
Nope.
I tell Tormilla to go, remembering that yeah, because I went to bed last. Trogdor went outside to sleep, right? Or did I see him outside? Okay. I'll tell Tormilla, go grab Trogdor, tell him to put his friend away and come in. We gotta talk. And we gotta plan something out. And grab Maya as well, please.
She just nods. Okay. So yeah, the guards, those of you who can see them making their exit, they head out the front door, and you hear a number of hurried footsteps making their way around the side of the house, down a small alley that you noticed on your way in. They seem to be running around the pretty much entire perimeter of the house to get to the back road onto which the window opens up.
Okay.
You also, those of you who are in the back bedroom, see a few more people go kind of sprinting down, including one on Goatback. Just kind of spreading out, fanning out, looking for where this dangerous criminal might have gotten off to.
As they, heading towards the cusp of my range, could I divine sense them?
Sure.
I don't plan on taking action this one. No.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm not gonna, chase them down or nothing, but I just want to know if, they seemed evil, it was, gang in disguise or something. Because I don't feel like my friend Togar would be a criminal, committed a murder.
That's fair. So yeah, you use your sense and stuff. And what's the specifics on that again?
Someone I can see either 30 or 60. Yeah, 60 feet. I could tell if it's a celestial fiend or undead, and then I can detect if it's strong evil or good.
Okay. Yeah, they're definitely not undead or fiends or anything like that. Let me make one quick check on.
Oh boy. You do detect they are demons and they are fucked.
Well,
So from your standpoint, and again, you've kind of let them go for a bit, but you do detect a pair of celestial presence. Somewhat sizable, actually. And a pair of relatively strong, good signatures, so to speak.
It's the goats.
It is.
Is it going away as they travel away?
Yeah.
Celestial goats.
Would I be able to tell or figure out if it's the goats, or should I go inspect it or something?
Well, they're
I
taking off
mean-
down the road.
Yeah, do you want to follow the goats?
Oh, oh no, never mind. I wasn't sure if I would would I know if it's them?
They are all the
Um,
goats.
Well, you know the location of any celestial fiend, but okay, I don't know what I have to do, but I know where it's at.
Yeah, so either the goats or their riders are celestials.
I'll keep that in mind.
Alright. So yeah, it would seem that, at least for the time being, you have gotten out of harm's way.
Thankfully.
So, yeah, at that point, Tormilla comes out and summons Trogdor and Maya to the back bedroom to have some sort of meeting. And Trogdor and Maya, not having been privy to the events of the back room, I'm sure you have some questions.
First thing I do is, as soon as she goes away, I will hop out of bed again, or I already did. But I'm going to, once all the guards are gone, I'm going to mage hand and close the window and lock it.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to grab the blanket from Bungdo's bed and kind of stick it up there and just, can I hold the blanket up over the window?
Does the window have shutters or something?
Or yeah, if it has shutters, I'll just pull the shutters.
It does have drapes.
Yeah, I'll pull the drapes in. That works.
Okay.
So, and that's all I do.
Alright. Cool. So yeah, Tormilla comes out and kind of summons you guys back. Let me draw the drapes for a moment. There you
I'm really confused about where another female dwarf suddenly appeared.
go.
Well, once you get back there, I'll just say, okay, guys, the plan is, and then I'll look and see your confused face. Say, it's me, Togar.
Right. And just for everybody's reference, do you just want me to get you to the back room?
Brown.
Sure.
Okay. There's Maya. Trogdor's getting abducted. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So here you all are with this strange female dwarf.
I say, it's me, Togar. I have no idea what's going on. This wasn't like this when I left. I have a feeling, and I look at Tormilla, I have a feeling it has to do with the same reason why she's, she was sent out and why she was attempted to be killed. Or at least left for dead. Something's going on here. We probably should figure out what.
How you disguise yourself
Uh,
first?
I have a little spell that I can use. I've never used it before because I haven't really needed to, but this seemed like the perfect opportunity.
Can I insight check him? I suddenly don't trust any females I've encountered in my life.
I am going to. Can I? There's no deception check. I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah, the check is more about Maya's interpretation of everything.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, in this case, it's not a competing check. It's just
Oh,
you know,
okay. I've
Uh,
only ever seen insights with like competing checks.
yeah. So I would say Maya is fairly confident, just through some of the physical mannerisms
That's
of
just me
this
to convince.
strange female dwarf that it could certainly be Togar.
I say, hey Maya, watch this, and I'll reach behind
Well,
and pull.
it's not that I'm not checking that it's Togar. I'm checking that Togar has never impersonated a female.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I'll say, Maya, watch this. This will prove it to me. And I reach behind, grab my axe hammer, and like pull it out of what appears to be nothing, and drop it on the ground.
I still look surprised.
This just raises more questions.
Right.
I just.
But-
Togar telling the truth though that he never became a female.
Yeah, best you can tell. I mean, you certainly don't see any reason to disbelieve.
Okay.
Is there? Can I can't catch on to her. She's inspecting me so hard because I'm a female, right? Or can I?
You can make an insight check.
Okay, I'm gonna make an insight check. Oh shit! So I realize that she's not distrusting me. She's distrusting the fact that I'm saying that I've never been a female.
Yeah. There may have been a little squint when you mentioned that you've never been a female before. That kind of suggests she doesn't entirely believe you.
No, not that I don't believe him. That I don't trust him.
I look at Maya and I say, Maya, I had to do what I had to do to get them to go away, and a female dwarf will make make it so that especially since, a naked female dwarf will make it so that they won't look at me. They have a sense of honor. I was playing off of that.
I still squint a bit, but okay.
So, the question is, what should we do? I have no idea.
By the way, as a side note, Trogdor, is your steed still hanging out in the street, or did you dismiss it?
I was sleeping with it.
But did you dismiss it?
No, I left it there.
Okay.
I can communicate telepathically with it, so you can just stay on the lookout.
I look at Trogdor. Is your dragon out front?
Yes?
You might want to put that away. The less attention we draw to us right now, this is better.
Okay, I'll snap my
Y-
fingers and then not do it.
Fair enough. And the only reason I'm not calling meta on that is because you did explicitly tell Tormilla to pass that on.
Yes, I did.
But yeah.
I just realized that he was standing there, and it kind of jogged my memory.
Yep.
So, but you said you did it, so I'm good. Okay.
Can I not trust Trogdor to do that?
Reasonable.
I suddenly don't trust anyone.
What about Bungdo?
Bungdo hasn't said anything yet.
Since it's coming down to this, Trogdor, go ahead and make a deception check.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I have no reason not to. So.
Trogdor,
Yes.
dismiss it.
Dismiss what?
I'm just gonna stare at you,
I'm just looking between the two, completely confused.
giving you a Bungdo eye.
I look at Maya. How do you know he didn't? He just said he did, though. And then I looked at Trogdor. You know what happened last time?
What?
Last time you did something Maya didn't like. She left you on the ground crawling back to your room.
I'm good at reading faces.
At this point, given that there was that check made, yeah, you all are kind of catching on. Trogdor probably didn't dismiss his steed.
Well, he's done it before where I've said dismiss it, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I'm making that check.
I would say from now on, I'm gonna start making insight checks on and you dismissing it too,
Okay.
because Trogdor's catching on to the fact that he doesn't want to listen. So.
Your name's Trogdor.
Or Togar, I mean. Sorry.
Yep. Trogdor
I-
does not trust himself.
No, I wouldn't either. He's a sketchy motherfucker.
We could dismiss him for you, but no one wants that.
As I start cracking my knuckles from the bed.
Want to fight a dragon?
No, there's much easier ways to dismiss a dragon, especially one that's summoned from somebody. And I continue cracking my knuckles.
Doesn't affect it. It's not a concentration spell.
We don't know that.
I don't know.
No, I said we don't know that.
I just said it.
Yeah, but you've also said a lot of shit that we don't believe.
I want to insight check him.
Okay.
25 insight checks later.
Oh, rolling that 20.
Seems legit.
Alright.
We could fight a dragon. It's a nice day for it.
I look at we've got far more important things to do. I look at Trogdor, dismiss it, or I'm going to send them after you.
Well, we wait long enough, they're gonna send themselves after you.
All right, I'll be right back. I want to go outside and then say my goodbyes to the dragon.
Okay.
Alright.
You'll see him again.
As soon as he leaves, I look at everybody and say, I don't trust that motherfucker. Ever since he's got that steed, I don't know, something's going on. We may have to talk to him about that too. I look over at Termilla. Was there any indication of anything before you left? Anything that you can remember?
She seems to be racking her brain, but yeah, she can't seem to remember anything that really strikes her as odd. I mean, there was the incident that she spoke with her friend about in very vague terms, but she doesn't really know what it had to do with. Best she could glean is there might have been something sketchy going on somewhere in the trade ministry, but again, her friend was like middle management, so could be anyone.
Who's your friend?
Oh boy.
Sorry.
No, I'm laughing at a DM that I just got.
Oh. Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Okay. Let me flip to the appropriate notebook for such things.
Okay. We'll have to, and I say one. Yeah. Okay, I'll wait. Sorry, I got a train of thought and I want to keep it going.
Mhm.
But no, we're
It's all good.
Um,
What's up?
no, it's fine. I'm trying to make sure I have a plan. I've got a plan starting in my mind of where to start. It's just things. Okay.
All right. So her friend's name was Timon Marybrew.
Timon, Tymen,
Yes.
Marybrew.
Yep.
Sounds
Okay.
like a hobbit.
The fuck was her name?
Who's
There
her?
we go. Tormella. I just couldn't figure out where her name was. And that was a friend that had the shady shit, right?
Yeah. So essentially, when Tormilla was working as a cleric in the central temple, Timon came to her in a time of need. You know, sort of a moral predicament that he had been put in as part of his job, and basically sought counsel from a holy woman, and she advised him as she thought Moradin would keep him advised, and well, shortly thereafter, he ended up imprisoned on charges of treason.
Okay, so I look at her and I say, where does he, like, how well did you know him, and where, it's a him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How well did you know him, and where does he live? And do you think we would be safe to go there?
Okay, I caught the how well did you know him?
Oh.
You said where, what?
Where does he live? How well do you know him? Where does he live? And do you think it would be a safe place for us to start trying to figure out what's going on?
Okay. So, in order, she responds that Timon was an old family friend of hers. She knows him to be a good person overall. No reason to suspect that he was, say, conspiring to commit treason. Let me respond. Okay.
Somebody sliding in your DMs.
But yeah, she doesn't have any reason to suspect that Timon was anything sketchy. In fact, that's probably why he came to see her that day, by her approximation. As far as where he lived, he had a small, like 2-room home to himself. She's not entirely
no
sure
family.
what would have happened to it in the days since incarceration.
Is he still incarcerated?
Well, she's been out of town longer than you have, so
Right. I will look at her and say, tell you what, go grab my mom. She might be helpful.
okay.
Let's get her in here, too.
All right.
Any more NPCs we could shove in this little tiny room?
Possibly.
Tech's still in there, or did you take him out?
Kex is in with... well, he was in with us.
I didn't take him out.
Oh. So he's still in with us.
Yep.
Alright, I will... In this time, I'll absentmindedly reach in my bag, grab a starfruit, and toss it to Kex.
Okay. And he, of course, just snatches it up and begins digging in. Let's see. Let's go with that one. There you go.
Okay. Did Trogdor come back in yet? He fell asleep.
Yeah, you haven't seen him, haven't heard anything.
I look at Termilla. Did you see Trogdor?
Last I saw, he went out to speak with his steed.
Does somebody want to go check on him? Maya, do you want to go check on him?
Sure.
Because you have a way of convincing him that the rest of us don't. Thank you. And then as she leaves, I look at my mom and say, Mom, what do you know of Timon Marybrew? Is he... I know he was the guy as... I'm assuming she's going to start... Was that the guy that... Such and such... So yes, he's that guy. Is he still behind bars?
She, again, kind of thinks about it. It really hasn't been anything of consequence to her, but she says, I think so. I mean, I haven't heard anything.
Oh, by the way, as soon as she walks in, I say, Mom, it's me, Togar. I'm in disguise. Sorry, I
It's all right. I kind of assume that at this point.
yeah. Well, uh, do we know he was middle management? Do we know anything about who he like what he worked for or anything?
So, quick cut. Maya, as you walk out the front door and look around, you do not see Trogdor or his steed.
Do I hear anything that would give me a clue for where they went?
Make a perception check.
I figure there might be some noise following them.
You think you do hear sort of a rhythmic snorting, sort of similar to a small dragon's breathing, coming from the roof?
We'll look to the roof.
All right, so you kind of back up as far as you can from the house, and yeah, just barely in your line of sight, you're able to see the kind of top horns of the mount as it just perches up on top of the house.
Okay, I'm gonna yell, Togar! That looks good! Let's reconvene.
Wait, what?
Trogdor.
I was like, wait, Togar, what?
Are you sure you want to scream Togar in the middle of the road?
Sorry. I meant Trogdor.
All right.
It's all Taylor's fault. He's the one that makes up the names.
But just because I do it doesn't mean you have to.
You know them better than I do.
I don't.
One of them's you. You better. Anyways.
Wait,
So, yeah.
What'd you say?
Trogdor, that looks fine. Let's, reconvene.
Would I be able to hear from down there?
Yeah, she's yelling. I mean,
Alright. But tired.
Sleep later. Eat starfruit now.
Well, anything for starfruit. And Misty step down.
Okay.
Bending a level 2 spell.
That's how I got up there.
Like, you don't even have any more 2 spell.
Nope.
I'm fine, I got level 1s.
They're all crap. We're over here about to fucking fight, and you're like, I'm gonna Misty Step randomly.
I gotta sleep, I've had like 2-3 hours of sleep.
So have all of us.
We should probably get back to sleep.
Uh,
Anyways. So yeah. So, I guess, let's go back inside.
Okay. I trust you all to be able to navigate. Climbing in your windows.
Oh, that's a window?
Trying to climb in my window.
Trample over that bitch. Bed.
You would trample over my mother? Alright.
Okay.
I look at Maya. Was everything okay? It took an awful lot of time, and I thought I heard somebody shouting.
His steed's on the roof, but it's barely visible from the ground.
I look over at Trogdor. Mage hand and slap the fucking shit out of him.
At this point, I'm just accepting that as a win, so...
So, I know, but I mage handed slap the fucking shit out of him. It's not very hard, it's just
Your slap is not my slap.
Right. Well, and it's mage hand that can only do like 10 pounds worth of force.
Yeah, so it just kind of like pings off the armor. It's not even something we need to.
Yeah, it was just something that I want. Yeah, just more out of frustration.
Yeah.
Slapping me in the face, ping, ping, just not even in.
No, it was just one slap, and then as it hits, as soon as it makes physical contact and actually does something, it just dissolves into like a mist, and I dismiss it.
Okay.
And I look back, I look back over towards Maya. Say, I have no idea what to do. I have no leads. The only lead I could think of is to talk to Timon, and he's locked up.
Can we visit him in prison?
You guys probably could, but Tormilla and I really can't show our faces out in public too much.
I mean, I'm not sure how we'd get in there, I guess. Trogdor's a paladin. Or if he had any... I don't know.
I look over at
Say
I
that
glance
he had
over.
something to do with the Way of the Fist, but...
I glance over at Trogdor, and I look back at Maya. I don't trust him to fucking do anything right now. Especially something that important.
Well,
Plus,
I want to keep him handy.
no
just in
problem.
case it comes-
Useless. Just go to lay in the bed. I don't care whose bed it is. Just lay in it, sleep.
I shrug.
That's fine.
Well, I can ask to see him.
Is that something you want to try? And have you gotten enough rest?
I'm fine.
Because this is probably going to wear out pretty quick. This disguise is going to wear out fairly quick. So,
What time of the day is it, Eric?
Let's see. At this point, it's probably about noon. Because you all kind of spent all night at the shop and worked through the night. So you came back in the morning, crashed, and yeah, it's about noon right now.
all right. I look at my mom. Has anything weird been going on? Like, has any political stuff been going on?
She thinks and says, well, I mean, life goes on, really. Nothing crazy.
Nothing of note going on in the city at all.
Again, she thinks and thinks. I mean, of course, there was a captain of the guard stated with, well, given the whole circumstance surrounding Hogar's death.
Who's the new captain of the guard?
I have his name. It exists somewhere. Here we go. His name is Bearmond Shatterfoot.
Can I get that in text form?
Perhaps.
What? Togar and Tormilla, what do you know about this guy?
Thank you. Can I history check to see if I've heard of this Joker?
Sure.
I know maybe one thing.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it just, in your line of work. He has a military background. You're not really sure, how high he might have risen up ranks or what. He always kind of struck you as the sellsword type.
Okay.
So he might be a tool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's one lead.
Any other changes?
She kind of mulls over anything that might have been relevant to her, or dad for that matter. Like, there was some scandal about large amount of Thogonite disappearing from the mines back.
We know where that ended up.
Yep.
Other than that, can't really think of anything.
Is it usually this quiet?
Are you speaking like politically?
Yeah. Like does it, like when you're out in the woods and everything goes quiet, is it like that, or is it?
She kind of, realizing that there are a number of outsiders in your, kind of explains that the government of Thogladar is actually pretty steady. They have an elected leader in General Skodrick Snowhand. I mean, he was elected by popular vote, and the general sentiment toward him is pretty positive. Very much like in real life America, people may not pay quite much attention to the other elected officials that go about doing their jobs, but there haven't been any scandals per se, at least not the of Togar's brother.
I look at Tormilla. How was your relationship with your father?
It was great before I supposedly died.
Did he act weird at all towards you up until the point where you left?
No, not at all.
Should I go and tell him that she's not dead?
I'm wondering if he might not be part of it too. Tormilla, do you think you could trust your father to keep a secret?
I'm sure if he knew I was alive and well, he'd do anything he could.
Okay, I think that might be our best bet.
Right, well, then just have to find a way to sneakily get ourselves into the capital and secure an audience with the leader of the entire city-state without dropping either of our names. It's doable, right?
What?
Well, couldn't we?
Well, you guys could stay here and I can try, if you have any advice.
They really. And at this point, I kind of sigh and just, well, dwarves don't usually trust outsiders as well as other dwarves. So they would take anything that you would say as less important, or they generally wouldn't trust you to be, I don't think, to be around a leader, especially after you came into town with me.
I mean, would saying, like, I'm a representative of the Iron Hand help at all? We have dwarves.
I mean, you can give it a shot. I'm just warning you that you know, we're not in a multi-cultured city. This is a dwarven stronghold, and a lot of the older dwarves are very set in their ways and distrustful of the other races.
Do you have a better idea?
I do not. I just figured I would warn you.
Okay, well, consider me warned.
Would you like to take Trogdor with you?
Do you think that's a good idea?
I look at Trogdor. Probably not.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Just, I guess go ahead. And then, question for you, DM.
Yeah.
Does the shop have a second floor?
Actually, it does not.
Damn. I look at my mom and say, Mom, are we okay to stay here?
She just kind of looks at you, and her eyes water a little bit. Of course, just be safe. I'll do what I can to protect you, but
Don't get hurt. I've been around a bit, Mom. I can definitely take care of myself, but I appreciate it. I just don't want to see you get hurt or wrapped up in any of this.
Yeah, she just looks concerned. I mean,
Actually, oh, go ahead. Sorry,
you're good.
I'll let you go ahead.
Well, she just looks concerned for you. This is obviously news to her too. So, yeah, she doesn't really know how to cope with all of this.
In thinking about this, I look at her and I say, or I look at Maya and say, why don't you take my mom with you? Because it's very odd for, out of the blue, me to come home with welcome arms and have the guard come out. Doesn't that, and I look at my mom, doesn't that strike you as a little odd? Maybe you could get an audience just to find out what's going on and find out why they're trying to take me away, especially after somebody else took Hogar.
She thinks on it for a minute and says, "No, that could make sense. Work. But let me get properly dressed for an audience with the general. See what we can do, right?"
Yes, I mean...
Kind of looks over at Maya like, okay.
I mean, at the very least, they would be more willing to talk to you as opposed to Maya, especially about, what I'm being charged with.
Seems to make sense.
And then, and I assume Father's at the shop, correct?
No, he's snoring.
Oh, is he?
He is. Yeah.
We probably should wake up Dad. I'll take care of that. And I will leave and head up while they're getting ready. Well, or at least while my mom is getting ready. And I'm just going to head up, wake him up, and explain to him what's going on. Explain to him everything that happened and my plan. And say, is there anything else that you could... Any other idea you could think of that might be better? Because this is kind of a harebrained idea, I know. But
He's, it takes him a while to shake off the deep sleep he was in.
yes.
And he's still visibly overwhelmed by all the info that's getting laid out for him.
I go slow enough just so he can... To make sure he's understanding it all. He's coherent and understanding it all.
Right, and he seems to grasp it, but as far as what to do about it, he just says, I I suppose audience with the general is the best you can hope for, or well, we can hope for on your behalf.
Of course. Is that something you would want to go with Mom to protect her, or to make sure nothing happens? Or do you think she should just go as she is?
He thinks about it, and says, "Oh, I'll go. This is, well, obviously just as much my burden as hers, and it's not right to expect her to handle such a thing. Well, no disrespect to your friend, but more or less alone in the eyes of at least the dwarven culture. So,
Yes. I'll reach in my, or I'll actually reach into my clasp and pull the eye gem out and hand it to him and say, "Here, this may help. I have a feeling that things are not as they seem." And I say, "Keep this on you, uh, and it may help save you."
he gives it a very suspicious look as the bloodshot eye in the middle of it, just staring, like shooting around, looking at everything,
I just try to
surroundings.
try to attract his gaze back up to mine and say, "It's not malicious. Trust me." And I kind of waggle my fingers and say, "I've had some training with magical items, and it will simply help you, aid you in one way today, and I have a feeling you may need this more than I will for right now."
All right. He hesitantly kind of just tucks it into one pocket.
What does that thing do again?
It is 1d4 once a day on a saving throw. Also, I snap my fingers, run down, and reach in my backpack and pull out the cavern note. And show it to Tormilla. Because I just fucking looked at it and realized, what is this? I hand it to Tormilla, and it says, "Use it wisely. I fear obtaining more would necessitate further business for our elven friend. While funding is not an issue, the political burden is one I'd rather not bear. His meeting with the guard captain was costly enough in that regard. If, however, we are forced to take such desperate measures, we can at least rest peacefully knowing the only witness has left town." And I say, this, I almost forgot I had this. And I read it aloud, and, but I say, this, we may have an issue higher up. Does this, or it would be in my hand. No, did we actually take the actual note?
I believe you did, yeah.
And I think did I have it, or did I just make a copy?
I don't know that we ever established who was carrying it, but
I mean, I would
for
assume, yeah.
for the sake of fluidity, let's say you had it, some container of yours.
Okay. I see. Does this look like your father's handwriting or handwriting of anybody you would know?
She first for a moment, trying to recall things in her history, if you catch my drift.
Yes.
Please
Please be good. Please be good.
doesn't seem familiar.
Fuck.
She's at least reasonably sure it's not her dad's, right?
Okay. Good. So,
Say, it. I don't know if you want to give me that note or
Yeah.
just have me tell him about it.
no,
That would
I'm going
be
to
a
give you a
good-
copy.
Yeah, that would be a good reason for me to be visiting
Mm,
the general.
I want to give you a copy, but I want the same handwriting. Is it dark enough where I could put
Well,
like a
I
piece
can-
of paper over it and like trace over it, or a piece of parchment? Like, could I make like a copy of it
Um,
in relatively the same handwriting?
Like a trace it.
Yeah.
yeah, I would say it's probably feasible. I mean, you would have some essentially like draft paper sitting around still, probably. So, um,
Dex check,
yeah,
or do you want a sleight of hand?
this would be Dex.
Oh, fuck yeah! It's damn near identical. I hand her the copy. I keep the original.
Okay.
And say, yes, definitely show this to him. There's some evil afoot. There's something going on, and now we're all in the middle of it.
Okay.
I look at my mom. Hate to ask, but Dad have any beer?
She just looks at you and says, "What kind of question is that?
I need a drink.
You know where it is."
Right. I'll take my leave and go grab a beer.
Okay.
So,
Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer. Or
yes.
stores have beer.
Oh, right, I can actually walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I didn't see anything here. Okay, good. I was making sure I didn't see anybody. Make sure no motherfucker's sneaking in. Alright. Get my beer. And, does anybody want to do anything while I'm getting my beer? Okay, I will have gotten my beer.
I wanna put on my robe-like thingy, so that I don't know, slightly more presentable.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually go out here.
My yellow covering thing.
And I'm gonna sit on the bench. While I'm disguised, I'm gonna just sit out here and enjoy not being in a room. Stuck in a room.
With a million people.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, do all of these windows have drapes?
They do indeed.
And then where is the road?
The what?
The main road.
Okay. So the front door opens to a road that is
Here?
essentially like, yeah, right there.
Okay.
And then there is also a back door, which is this showing up if you're blacked out?
No, here, I'll just move over it. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna draw the shades on this one and this one.
Okay.
And then this is just like a little alleyway right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep those open. And I will just kind of sit out there and enjoy my beer for a minute. At least until, like,
Yeah.
and I'll just kind of, I guess I'll kind of yell back and say, you guys can come out here. It might be a little bit more comfortable than sitting in that room.
I come out.
Just, we have benches. I think the door was locked. Like I don't think I could get back in. Oh no, I guess I can. Never mind. You can move yourself out then.
Yeah. So, would you all like to congregate out there?
Leaving.
We'll leave Trogdor in there.
I can't get out. There we go.
Maya challenged by doors. Oh, Trogdor was staying in, I think.
Yeah, he was sleeping.
Is Bungdo can sleep if he would like, as well.
Bungdo would probably also be sleeping.
Yeah.
Probably.
He
Okay.
fell back asleep. So, I will get up and walk over to the thing and grab another glass, tap it, and, basically hit the thing and, basically draw another glass of beer, walk out, and walk over and hand it to Tormilla.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
I'll go back and
she,
sit down.
All right, she takes it and probably downs about half of it first swig.
Yep. And just
I
say,
think
yeah,
this
you look
sounds
like you
like-
could use one.
Sounds like a fantastic idea, and I get myself one.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted one. I would have grabbed you one, Maya. Sorry.
Probably.
We're all drinking my dad's shit. Maya, would you possibly be able to leave the bag of holding here?
Yeah, I could do that.
Because I could possibly either restock it, or when Bungdo wakes up, I could have him go and pick up a few things that we may need.
Be good.
I'm staying right here. I'm gonna make sure Tormilla and I stay safe.
Yeah, that would be the best.
All right. Around this time, Dad comes down. Strangely small, mini size.
Yeah. So as soon as he comes down, get up, walk over. Walk by, and as soon as I get to here, I just hand it to him without saying, or wherever he is, I'll walk up to him, hand him the beer without saying anything, and go sit down.
All right. Yeah, he's kind of just surveying the room and kind of getting a feel for food. Yeah, doesn't even acknowledge you really. Just kind of takes the drink and.
Yep. Yep. I say, I don't know if you... Wait, I already introduced him to everybody, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I reiterate the plan to my dad and say, so the plan is blah, 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 blah. And then I say, her and I point towards Tormilla, are going to stay here. And I may send Bungdo out for some supplies, as he's been here before and knows the area a little bit better. People know of him, possibly. So
Before I give him the bag of holding, though, I take out my weapons and stuff that are in there.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll let you take whatever. Are there any potions in there? We don't have any potions, right?
We have some.
Do you want to take a couple?
I shouldn't need them.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 3 potions of healing.
Oh. Okay. You don't want to take one?
I should be good.
Okay.
I hope I don't need a potion of healing. I'll take one.
Okay. So you'll have to actually edit it.
Yeah, I will.
The crate with the box, what was that?
What now?
In the bag of holding. Crate with box.
That would have been the wooden crate that then housed the box in which the eye gem came.
Oh, okay.
We have a crate with box.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know how else to write that.
No, I couldn't remember what it
Nothing
was
simple.
from. Oh, Bungdo has the box of gems. Right?
I can check.
Yeah, because he turned into a squid and went down and had me pick the lock. I just couldn't remember who had it. And I thought
Yeah.
that was what it was.
I don't have it in the bag holding, so.
Okay. Okay. That's right. Okay. We're good then. And I guess I will sit and wait then. And I'm just kind of inspecting the stuff in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I actually pull out the Chul armor and just start looking at it.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
pretty hardy crustacean armor.
I look at my, like, I reach in the bag of holding and look back at mine and say, what do you do about this? And I pull out some Thogonite.
Should I take a sample of it, or should we just leave it?
Well, how much went missing?
Your mom kind of chimes in. Enough to notice.
Would 8 pounds be enough to notice?
It was significantly more than 8 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, best you could gather, there were like 2 full-size shipping crates loaded with Thogonite.
And we had got the, like, dregs.
Yes. Okay. So.
It was like, I don't know,
You
100 pounds or something?
Yeah. It was 2 big fucking boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at Maya and say, Maya, I think we should just leave this here and I'll shove it back in the bag of holding. But you have that as a bargaining tool that if things go sour, you can say, hey, I know where the Thogonite got to. I don't know where exactly it is, but I did recover some, and you can bring
Well,
that.
I'm pretty sure it was used.
Right. I'm just saying you can tell them we did recover some, and possibly use that as a way to
Maybe.
aid. I don't know. Just you got that in your back
I'll
pocket.
keep it in mind.
Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah. Otherwise, I'm just kind of inspecting the Chul armor, just trying to see if I can figure out a way to make something of it. Just keep myself busy. So.
All right.
I'm pretty sure politics is my thing.
That what?
Politics is not my thing.
Oh, but it's not mine either.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing until they are ready.
I turned, is she ready yet? Like, is she closed?
Yeah. Both Togar's mother and father look to be ready for an audience with a VIP, so to speak.
Well, shall we go?
They both they look at each other and look back at you and kind of nod in synchrony.
Just before they go, I say, Maya, if they ask, the only reason you were traveling with me is because we were going in the same direction. You don't want to have any, any real, like, hard loyalties to me. Otherwise, they may get suspicious. So.
Okay.
And I kind of nod to my mom and dad. Say, I'm sorry for putting you through this, but I have a feeling that once this is all over, we will have justice that we so rightfully deserve.
Your mom kind of, breaks down for a minute and throws her arms around you, hugging you very, very, very tightly.
Yep, I will return it.
I look visibly uncomfortable, not only for the prospect of maybe needing to lie, but parents, I'm not used to them.
Okay, Batman.
Wait. Do I?
Wait, I'm black?
Does anybody notice that she's
Getting
like
a stereotype?
what?
I mean, is Maya trying to hide her discomfort?
No,
Okay.
I'm just not used to people showing affection.
Oh,
Yeah. Maya is visibly unsettled.
okay. So seeing that, I kind of try to, as respectfully as I can, kind of pry my mom off me.
I mean, it also has to do with the fact that I might need to lie. So,
Well, anyway, I walk just.
I'm not sure you could tell the difference on.
No, it's just kind of more that you're looking uncomfortable, and I'll just kind of say, "Mom, easy. Don't forget we do have guests." And I throw a wink at Maya, completely misinterpreting the whole point.
I feel more uncomfortable.
Okay.
I just
Then
kind
your
of
father
shrug.
just kind of and your father walks over, kind of clasps a hand on your shoulder and looks you in the eye and says, "Take care of this."
Take care of the what?
Said,
Take care of
we'll
this.
take care
Oh,
of."
oh, okay, okay.
And then he looks back at the two ladies that will be accompanying him, and ready?
I nod.
All right. And he heads over to the door. I mean, you all follow him. Now have a split party.
Yes.
Fun. Okay. Um, so the essentially Maya's party uh, makes their way down the road, series of unfamiliar twists and turns. Maya's and
I
eventually,
I tried to memorize.
okay, duly noted. So yeah, you wind your way through dimly lit streets of Thogladar, eventually coming to a larger, kind of partially domed building. Um, seems to be built almost as a tower of sorts. It's toward the um, kind of core of the cluster of buildings that make up the city. And there's a number of flights of stone steps leading up to it, probably four stairs um, leading to this massive reddish brown stone uh, Capitol building, for lack of a better term. Um, you all make your way in, and Togar's parents kind of seem to have at least some idea where they're going. They walk over to what looks to be a desk of some sort, and you hear them essentially explain we're the parents of Togar Hammerstriker, and it's come to our attention that our son is being accused of some rather dire crimes, and well, we would like clarification and explanation of how this came to be and why now of all times. Why hasn't there been a manhunt? It's supposed to have been some sort of murderer or whatever it is you say he is. Um, upon kind of discussing a number of people, it seems as probably three, four different people end up joining the conversation. And, it gets a bit heated. Togar's father is visibly getting fed up with the red tape, so to speak, but manages to hold it together pretty well, and eventually seems satisfied with the outcome of the conversation. Two of them come back over to you, Maya, and we'll have our audience soon. Let's just wait here a moment. Prepare ourselves. So the other group, what are you guys doing at this point?
As soon as I walk out the door, I'll look over at Tormilla and say,
You dropped.
"Oh, sorry. Yeah, better?
Yep.
Maybe?
Okay. As soon as they walk out the door and shut it, I run over, lock everything, and look over, and obviously I'm not trying to, like, creeperish, but I just want to run over, lock everything, and then look over towards Tormilla and say, Tormilla, knowing that you're a cleric of Moradin, and knowing that Moradin doesn't really approve of this type of thing, I've seen priests do some clerics and priests of different factions do it. Would you by any chance be able to speak with a dead person?
She seems sort of blindsided by this question.
I know it
But,
sounds weird, but roll with me on this.
Alright. So she thinks about all that she has learned. And, well, she says, with time to prepare, I suppose I could arrange something like that. Who are you to speak with?
A single teardrop runs down my cheek as I say, Hogar.
She,
They want witnesses. By the gods, we'll give it to them.
alright. So,
Yeah.
let's see.
I thought the only person who could see the spirit talking is the person using the spell.
That's true. However, I will know who killed him. Based on that note, it appears that my brother knew exactly who the fuck he was talking to. I'm gonna have her ask exactly what I need to know, and then I'm gonna start fucking cracking skulls. But you don't know that. So.
Alright. Let's see.
To let me know I might have to do things.
You're sleeping. You've already done enough. This is me and Tormilla at this point.
We have 3 parties now.
No, we're not leaving.
No. Well, you're separated.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the back room, but...
Yeah. Or so you think. No.
If they disappear, I wouldn't be sad.
Vampire comes out from behind you and bites you in the neck.
Alright.
I think my perception might catch that. Got an 18 passive perception.
Nope. Won't catch it.
Okay. So, yeah, Tormilla seems pretty confident she'd be able to make that happen. We're able to get yourselves in a position to do such a thing.
I would
Why?
Huh?
As a question, why is that not more standard to do if it's this, like... If it's reasonable to do, like, why doesn't everyone just do it?
Do what?
Talk to the dead.
Yeah.
Especially over a murder, because... Well, at least in Dwarven society, it's not necessarily, like... Magic is meant to go into weapons and armor. Magic is not meant to be wielded in such ways.
Okay.
It's not natural. in modern societies, or like the other like human societies, I agree that should be the very first thing.
I mean, they might also be scared of the supernatural.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say it's probably general a taboo thing.
Well, it's a dumb taboo from
It
my
is
standpoint.
extremely so.
Maya has no qualms.
When Bungdo has had enough rest to have his long rest, and Trogdor both, I would like to wake both of them up. Otherwise, I'm
Okay.
just gonna kind of sit and just talk to Tormilla about my plan.
All right. Um. So yeah, as you're sitting and looking and waiting and such, um, eventually a pair of guards come walking toward Maya and Togar's parents, summoning them up to the King Chambers General, sort of leading you through a number of hallways, up several flights of stairs. You eventually find yourself a large set, almost entirely golden doors inlaid with uh, vibrant images of um, dwarves in all facets of what it means to be a dwarf: mining, smithing, forging, fighting. And as you're kind of taking it all in, the two guards approach the doors, and each one, uh, taking one door himself, they push them in and open. There's virtually no sound as the doors themselves just slide seemingly effortlessly, or swing, I should say, effortlessly open. And you see before you a large stone room with essentially it looks like a table running horizontally across a raised platform in front of the sides of the room. Large metal lattice braziers casting this vibrant orange light over the entirety of the room, along with another massive one that sits raised behind the table, casting light and shadow down from the raised platform itself. Sitting at the center of the table, you see grizzled, old-looking dwarven male, long white beard, balding head, but still sort of fringes of white, kind of almost brown around the sides of his head. He sits almost with a defiant posture, uh, very much like a jarl in Skyrim, that kind of relaxed, just leaning in his throne kind of posture. And he just sort of raises two fingers and beckons thee in.
Is there anyone else in this room besides him?
Looking around, you do see overall probably 6 to 8 armed guards posted in the corners, one on each side of the raised platform. Um, uh, one sort of the center of each wall, and then in the would be the back corners to you as you're walking in. So kind of directly to your sides as you walk through. You see a pair of mounted goat knights. Just
In the room?
yeah, in the room.
Goats.
So, I assume you go in.
Yes.
Alright. So, the three of you, the two guards who led you up, make your way up the long stretch of carpet that leads to the platform. As you reach within 10 feet or so of the steps that would bring you up onto the platform, the guards kind of reach out and bar your path, if to say close enough. And at that point, the older dwarven figure sitting on the platform says, "I know two of you. Who's the third?" His eyes rest on Maya.
I do a bow. And say I am Maya Miko Callie. I am from the Way of the Hand. From the Monastery of the Iron Hand.
Never heard of it.
We're located in the desert south, which is probably why.
Go on.
I have we've discovered some very distressing news that you might like to hear, but I would like to make sure that you either that you trust everyone here or that you clear the room due to its sensitive nature.
All right. He kind of looks around the room, surveying the guards that he currently has on duty, and he beckons one of the goat knights forward. Says, "Mortharm, you stay. The rest of you, leave us for now." And without hesitation, they all promptly, swiftly march back toward the double doors that lead into them, and the last two draw the door shut behind them. So what is it?
There were some cultists near the south, and while investigating it, I came across this note. I pull up the note, and I heard that you were missing some Thlogonite and thought this would be relevant, and I hand the note to him.
All right.
I found some traces of Thlogonite in a cavern filled with evil creatures.
What sort of creatures?
Evil worms and a bodak.
There's a flash of recognition on his face as you mention a bodak, and he says, What business would a bodak have with Thlogonite?"
It looked more like that Thlogonite was used to. There was some kind of altar in there, and it was used so that they could. The altar blasted away from its stone setting.
You can kind of see the wheels turning in his head as he's trying to piece together what all of this could mean. Okay. So he reads the note, kind of pores over it once, twice, trying to wring every little bit of information from it that he can. And what do you know anything about who could have written this? I clearly it's not signed, but is there anything you can tell me that might shed some light on the situation?
I don't know anything more about that, but I do have other news for you. Tormilla is alive.
He is speechless. He just looks at you with this bewildered stare. This just looking at this woman who 5 minutes ago he didn't know existed, and now you bring him this news, and he says, "And how would you know this?"
On my way up here, I met her. She was rescued off of a island that she was left on.
I, how? He again seems to be thinking. Left on an island, you say?
Yes, she had a boat carry her on mission, and they left her on an island to die, I suppose. But she was rescued by the boat I was on the way up here.
Again, you see him processing, connecting dots in his mind. This look of anger sweeps across his face, and he says, "And what of her now? Where is she safe? Is she safe now?"
She's safe now. We have her hiding. We don't trust people in the city. She, suspects that, much like this note, that there is something happening within the politics of this place. It's the guy in prison's name.
Time in Marybrew.
Yeah, Timon Mary Brew. She says that. Also, the arrest of Timon Mary Brew is questionable because she spoke to him right before he was arrested.
As you
At the
hear
risk of, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as you hear Togar in the back of your mind saying, "Don't forget about me."
I don't hear Togar because he's cutting in and out really badly.
Oh, okay, sorry. I said as Maya hears Togar in the back of her mind saying, "Don't forget about me." Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
And then, also related is Togar, Hammer Striker, and his brother. His brother may have died for political gain, some of this conspiracy. It seems also like, especially because of that note.
And as you kind of explain that, he just says, "Forgive me if I am a bit skeptical of all this.
I understand.
What evidence can you provide me? Not of my daughter's location, but of her safety." how do I know you're not attempting to manipulate me, as whoever wrote this note clearly has already done with someone quite powerful in the city?
She said that we could trust you, and so I'm trusting you.
And I certainly appreciate that, but I did not grow to become the most successful general in the history of Thogladar by taking everyone I meet at their word. I have no reason to cast you out, uh, banish you, or anything of that sort, but I need more to go off of your word, the word of a stranger who, yesterday, whose name would have meant nothing to me.
Do I know anything that she would have said that would he know that he would that I would have to know her or met her to find out? That's a question for you, GM.
Yeah, I know, I'm thinking.
Okay, he hummed in his voice, so.
That was just a I don't know how many different voices I have.
I do.
I mean, what do we know? She's a cleric? That's about it. I mean, you know what she was doing the last time she was seen around the city. I'm just trying to jog the memory just because that would be something Maya would probably know.
Yeah, I mean, essentially
Just
what
we know.
essentially what Tormilla has told you is, yeah, she was a cleric of Moradin, working at the central temple of Moradin in Thogladar. There was the whole Time Marybrew incident, and then she was sent out on a diplomatic mission to the island of Zaphis, during which she was um, cast off on some island, presumably never to be seen again. But as fate would have it, the Umbra stumbled across her, and she ended up meeting up with you guys.
Okay. I think I have an answer. So, I can tell you where she is. But you must be careful, because if you search for her, then she might not be safe. But she is currently at, and I turn towards Togar's parents, but like she's currently at their house.
He kind of stoically holds his gaze, and he hesitates, thinking what he could do. And he says, "Go back to her when it is safe, and ask her for just a single written word. It doesn't need any significant meaning, word itself, but I'll know it's her. Bring this to me, and I will know that my daughter lives, and that you are her ally."
I will. And I nod. Bow kind of thing.
Right. He kind of gives you a, nod of, okay, you know what you have to do. Kind of dismisses you with a simple nod of his head. Leans back in his chair.
I turn towards his parents. Do you have anything to say?
They both kind of look at one another and kind of look at you, and he speaks up and says, I think you put everything quite well. And, well, we can return with evidence.
I nod and bow again and leave.
Okay. And I would say you guys probably get back to the house around the time everyone is waking up who hasn't, been awake this whole time. So Bungdo and Trogdor are now freshly awoken by Togar. And you hear the front door swing open, Maya and the Mommy and Daddy Hammerstriker walking back in.
So as soon as they do walk in, I will get up and go toward the wall that the door is on, and just kind of hide. Not necessarily hide from them, just kind of hide myself from the doorway.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then I'll wait till they get in, and Mom locks the door as she's known to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, so, first of all, how'd it go? Second, I have an idea for proof, and I look at my mom and dad and say, you're not going to like it, but first, tell me how'd it go.
And I will speak up and say, Tormilla,
Yeah, I look more towards Maya.
your father asks for you to send him a word for me to bring as proof. Said it doesn't matter what word it is, just he will know that is you.
A word? And I look at Tormilla, what is that about?
She kind of chuckles under her breath and looks to one of the two owners of the household. Says, "Do you have any parchment, ink?" And Togar's mother just immediately runs upstairs to what you know to be the storage room, and returns with all the implements necessary to write a rather short message. And you watch as Tormilla writes out a single word in Dwarvish.
What is the word? I speak and read Dwarvish.
Mm-hmm. It's idiot.
Idiot.
Ha! I wanna see it too.
As soon as I see it, I start chuckling. Just subtly chuckling and shake my head.
Your chuckling is contagious when I see it. I've been under stress.
You speak Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't share that around, but yeah, I speak Dwarvish.
Well, at this point, Togar looks at Maya and asks that.
Are you black?
No, I look at Maya and I ask, well, you speak Dwarvish? I didn't know that. I say that in Dwarvish.
I say yes.
Cool.
All right. And once that's done, and Maya kind of, not Maya, you're Maya. Tormilla kind of,
I am Maya.
gently, kind of flutters the parchment a bit to get the ink to dry rapidly. But yeah, she just kind of looks back up at all of you and says, "Go on."
But we gave him quite a bit to think about. So I want to at least deliver this letter to him so that he has some good news amongst all of this. And
I look
was
at
it
my. Oh,
Mothal? What was the one guard he kept with him?
What was that?
Was it Mothal? The one guard he had?
Oh, it was Mortharm. I
That
can
was
put it in
close.
chat.
I also tell that to Milla.
do I know? Do I recognize this name?
See how much she trusts him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a history check.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, it wouldn't be advantage because I was close to my brother and of his rank.
Technically, this guy is part of a different
Okay.
organization, so to speak.
Fair enough. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I should do a quick check for time. All right. So, yeah, you've heard the name a few times. He is essentially what you know of him is that he is a paladin of Moradin.
Okay. I got
Paladin
an
what?
agreement. Of
The
Morgan.
Yeah, a member of the Order of Moradin's Goat Knights.
Awesome. Okay.
And I mean, you don't know him personally, but what you do know is that he is known to be essentially one of the more prominent goat knights in the order, and he kind of seems to be almost one of the faces of the organization.
Of the Goat Knights?
Yeah,
Okay. I relayed that information.
yeah, kind of a ranking officer, so to speak.
Yeah. And then I kind of look towards Stormilla and just say, anything else to add about him?
Um,
I mean, he is pretty close to your father, so.
yeah, she kind of just says, I really didn't necessarily know all the guards and knights and such by name.
Fair enough. I mean, but has he been with your father for a while? Would he be a recognizable? Is he a recognizable name?
I probably know his face.
Okay. So he has been with your father since before you left.
Oh, I mean, she doesn't really recognize the name, so it's hard.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It cut out there. I thought you said I recognize the name.
Yeah, I mean, she can't quite put a face to them.
Okay. Gotcha. And I look at Maya and say, okay, well, what about this manhunt for me?
He is still unsure about that, and once he knows that I am Tormilla's ally, it would be a great benefit.
Okay.
He has not showed hand at all.
Do you think he's right? Do you think he's, did he seem off at all?
Can I do a thought-provoking insight check?
Sure.
Thinking about my memories.
Insight check those memories. They're lying!
I mean, what you could gather about him is he seemed like a straightforward, if a bit prideful individual. Certainly guarded, but given the subject matter, you probably couldn't exactly fault him for that.
Yeah, like I had a good vibe from him. He's trustworthy.
Okay. Well, if you think he's trustworthy, then I'm okay with that. Were you going to deliver it alone? Because I would assume he would want to know as soon as possible.
Yeah. I'm planning on returning there now.
Well, when you do, ask if he can put a hold on the manhunt for me as well, as I am.
Yeah. I'll
know,
discuss that.
That currently makes makes everything harder for me.
I know.
So. Okay, and then
She says condescendingly, but yeah.
And then before you go, I look back at my parents and say, I had a thought. We needed proof of, that I'm not the killer. We needed a witness. I gesture towards Tormilla. She is a cleric. Clerics have the ability to talk to people. And they can do that, whether they're alive or not. And I know you're not going to like it, but she could ask Hogar.
You kind of get raised eyebrows. Certainly seems to make them a bit uncomfortable, but well, they both just kind of sigh.
Trust me, I don't want to do this any more than you want me to do this, but I have a feeling this may answer a lot of our questions. It seems from everything that you've said and everything that I've seen that Hogar may have known this person who killed him. And the letter that even mentions the Lithe Elf as a friend of whoever this is. Hogar can tell us who this is. He knew who this was. There's a lot he couldn't tell us that he didn't tell us. That if he told us now, we can get justice for this.
They seem certainly hesitant, but at the same time, there's this resignation, or you can kind of see just reading their body language. They don't necessarily even need to say anything. You watch as before your eyes they kind of come to terms with it. Till eventually your kind of gives a slight nod.
I'm not saying yet, but that might be an avenue. We may have other avenues. It may not come to that. I do intend to pay a visit to Brother at some point. but I'm just letting you know that we may need to resort to that.
Yeah, and there's just kind of a quiet acceptance about that. Yeah, and at that point, your father heads back toward the kitchen, and you hear him drawing another drink.
I follow.
You hear, bang, and you go in and blew his brains out.
No, he was just drawing another drink.
Gosh.
He wouldn't blow his brains out. He doesn't have a. I'm the one who has the gun blueprints. He was
No.
just a simple miner. He doesn't have a clue how guns work or that they exist.
It would have been funny. In a morbid way.
No, that's no, like that. Anyway,
Nothing funny about that.
I agree. So, but I will go back and join him. I will draw 3 total and carry them back. And I will give 1 to Bungdo, 1 to Tormella, and offer 1 to my mother.
She takes it.
I'll go back and grab another 2 and give the 1 to Trogdor, and I'll take 1. I thought she was going to take it, so figured I'd serve them first. So
You didn't bring,
what was that?
you didn't bring me one.
Oh, that's yeah. I did. Okay, I'll bring you one. Sorry. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was intending to bring make sure everybody had one. Sorry. I will grab 3. 1 for Trogdor, 1 for me, and 1 for Maya.
All right, drinks for everybody. So,
Yes.
going on.
So, and I thought you were leaving. That's why I didn't. Are you? No.
I did down.
Can you put your mic down?
Yeah.
Thank you. It just sounded like you were like. It sounded like you were talking like this.
Sorry, I was coughing.
Yeah,
I
it's no
put it up
problem.
So that you don't hear me die as loudly.
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay. Yeah. Take the drink, down it, leave.
I just stand there looking very impressed at how fast she drank that drink. I didn't know she had it in her. I just shrug and take the glass back and put it, rinse it out, put it back.
All right. Anything anyone here would like to do while Maya's out?
Miles out what?
Doing what needs to be done?
Your mic cut out.
Doing what needs
No,
to be done.
the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I look over at Trog. Wait, was there? Oh no, there wasn't. I thought. Never mind. Go ahead. Actually, fuck it. I look over at Trogdor. Your beast is on the roof, correct?
Yeah, put him there.
DM, do I have like a backyard?
So essentially the layout of the house that you saw. Upstairs there is a master bedroom and a storage room. The bedroom has an exterior door that leads out to a porch patio of sorts that hangs out over the kind of front half of the house.
Oh.
And then on top of that, held up by stone pillars, is the roof upon which the steed is currently resting. You don't really have a yard per se, because you're hemmed in by streets to the north and south, an alley to the west, and a directly adjacent to the east.
I just don't want it on the roof. Is there a better place for us to have him put it? Like either in the house or even at the shop. Could we have him put it at the shop? Would there be enough room?
Yeah, you could make that happen. It'd be kind of a tight squeeze for him to get through the door, but he could probably make that work.
I mean, would that be obviously a dragon on our fucking house is not the best. So, yeah, I'm gonna look at Trogdor and what?
What's wrong with that?
It's a fucking dragon on the house.
So, not harming anyone.
Yes, but you must have.
Except the stonework.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really worried about that. I'm fairly certain that the construction of this house can far handle that beast's weight. But I'm just more concerned that, we're trying to earn trust in this city. And having a fucking living dragon on our roof is probably not the best.
What better way to get trust than to do something not typical of a normal person and not harm anyone? Shows that
Not drawing our attention to ourselves is usually a good way to avoid conflict. And you must have missed the speech about, you must have been sleeping in my brother's bed. But I informed Maya, dwarves are not your typical race of people. Having a monster on the roof of any human establishment or any human society, sure, I wouldn't say anything. But with my neck on the line as it is, and everything going on, I would rather we not attract any unwanted attention.
the guards saw it earlier. They didn't pay it any attention.
I doubt the guards saw it, or they would have said something.
I talked to them before they came in here.
Oh, well, did you have it on the roof?
It was right on the street.
Well, they had more important things to deal with at the time. I'm just saying, people want me dead. People want her dead. For all I know, people want Maya dead.
What
I don't
better
wanna
way to
give
hide
them
it in
any-
plain sight.
But we can't hide in plain sight with a fucking dragon on the roof!
The dragon
point, I
is the plain
slam-
sight.
At this point, I slam my fist down on the table. Look, I'm a dwarf. This is a dwarf society. I'm telling you, dragons are not meant to be on the roof. A stone dragon? Sure. Giant, shiny metal dragon? No.
I could always dismiss him and summon a stone one.
You know what? Do it! I'll be happy. Summon a stone dragon. That's fine. But wait, if you can dismiss him, why don't you just dismiss him? We don't need him.
But I don't not need them. And it's tiring to constantly summon it all the time when I could just have it out at all times.
Yes, but... And I bring out Mage Hand, and I say, see this? And I wave it in front of his face. I can have this out at all times, too. And it would be quite convenient to keep it out at all times. However, I know when there are times that I just have to, and I, just make it, the hand fingers just flutter, and then it poofs and disappears. I know when it's time to keep it out, and when it's time to put it away. I understand it's tiring to, to constantly concentrate on bringing something to existence. However, as it stands right now, I don't think it's a good idea to have him right now. Once we get out of here and are on our way, yes. Or hell, even if we get into, where we'll need him for a guard, yes. But right now, I think it's best that we hold off and just have him wait. Dwarves are not too accustomed to magic. And at this point, I look over at my parents, and I'm assuming they're kind of shocked that I'm like all this display of magic that I just did.
Yeah, your mom in particular, is a bit taken aback by the whole thing. Just like, what the hell was that?
I'll show you later, Mom. It's really cool. And then I look at Dad and say, I've already showed Dad. So, but I just look back to Trogdor and say, I understand your mount is special to you. I promise you that once we are able, once everything is safe, once everything is good again, I will have no problems with your mount being out. But for now, I just ask if you could please dismiss it.
Are you jealous?
It is a pretty cool thing. I may have to have you show me how you do it once, but
You would have to become a paladin.
I kind of glance over at Tormilla. Well, I know of a certain god that might look favorably upon me.
That'd be awesome, rogue paladin.
Vax. I mean, what? Anyway.
You don't know.
You don't know. But yes, with that, if Trogdor has no real response, I'll turn to my parents, and just while Maya's doing her thing, I'll show my mom my mage hand.
Okay.
Kind of give him a little bit more of a demonstration.
But does Trogdor dismiss his steed?
Wait, did his parents see it yet?
I think my mom did.
Yeah, his mom did, because you guys, you just walked over and knocked on the door. Upon getting into Thogladar, she opened the like, what the hell is that?
Alright. I'll, just exaggeratingly, like, wave my hands and fingers around unnecessarily and then dismiss it.
So you're like, I just imagine your hands and arms flailing wildly. And we're all just kind of standing, like, I stop whatever I was doing, just mage hand of whatever I was doing, and turn and watch him just flail around. And I'm assuming we just see that, and then all of a sudden we hear, and it's just done.
Yeah, so let's see. I mean, you're not entirely sure he actually that mount, but
Oh.
you know,
He flailed his arms around, at least.
he did.
Okay. And then once he's done moving, I say, is it done?
Yep, it's gone. It's for real this time.
Wow. A lot of arm work in that. I don't know if... Huh?
I was gonna say, I told you it's tiring.
I guess. And whatever I was doing with Mage Hand, I'm going to grab his glass with Mage Hand and, like, essentially, basically fill his beer up with Mage Hand and bring it back to him.
Okay.
The big cask of Bialkison.
What about it?
Yeah, we do. Well, we have a small one,
Oh yeah.
but or did you have a big one? Yeah, you were carrying the big one with you, weren't you?
You bought that new one after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you like put it down inside, or is it still strapped to you?
I don't remember if it was strapped to me or in the bag of holding.
We couldn't.
If I recall, I think there was a smaller. So you have two containers that you use for your drink.
Yes.
You've got a larger one, which is where stuff came in, and then I think you guys put some off in container.
Yeah.
So you could put the small one on Trogdor, big one in the bag of holding.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I didn't think the big one
Yeah,
would fit.
I have mini keg in
yes.
the bag of holding.
Yeah, the big one wouldn't fit in the bag of holding, so I got the biggest biggest barrel I could that would fit in the bag of holding and put as much in there as I can, so it's less weight for him to carry. So he has the big jug. The mini keg is in the bag.
It was Bjalgason?
Mm-hmm. I would assume you took it off before you went to bed.
Yeah, I don't wear that to sleep.
Okay, so it's sitting somewhere in the house because I wouldn't have let him take it off and leave it outside. So I guess I put it. It's over there with the rest of the beer.
All right.
How big did you just decide it was? The big one?
I think it was a full keg of beer.
I don't remember. We can deal with that later.
Yeah.
Alright.
So.
Say it was 20 now.
Well, you're not carrying it right now. It's sitting over with my father's stash.
Alright.
So.
Okay.
At this point, I just say aloud, maybe somebody should have went with Maya just to make sure she's, number one, safe, and number two, knows where she's going.
Okay, Eric. Do I remember how to get there?
Yes, you do, because on your hidden intelligence check last time, you rolled nat 19.
Haha!
Those Nat 19s, though.
Where did you take off to again? Who
She went
got
back
off to?
there to go to the Snowbeard and give
Oh.
I think his name is Snowbeard.
Close.
No, it's
Snowhand.
Snowhand, yes.
Yep.
I knew it was snow and a body part.
I mean, beard is pretty close to hand.
Dwarves need them both to live.
Yep. Well, dwarves have no choice about the beard. They have more choices about the hand.
Dwarves don't get a choice about the beard. There's no having a choice. They don't get one.
Exactly.
Beards for life.
Get some, like, nair,
Oh god. Hairless
No.
dwarf.
the horror.
That's almost as bad as telling a dwarf to take a bath.
I wonder if that's a viable, like, torture option for dwarves.
Shaving their beard?
Nairing their beard.
Yeah, that would be torture to most dwarves.
But how about, like, their entire body? Get rid of all the hair on their body.
Then they would be a fucking gnome.
Exactly.
That's the secret to dwarves, is they're literally gnomes in disguise, but are just so fucking hairy that they put on that much more weight and muscle just carrying the hair around. You take that off, they lose like 30 pounds and they become a very fat dwarf. Or gnome, I mean.
Science.
Yeah. And Eric, just out of curiosity, how are we running dwarves? Are they like your typical dwarf is like doesn't like to takes an insult at people telling him to take a bath and stuff?
I mean, just generally kind of prideful and often, well, dwarves do a lot of hard physical labor,
Yep.
and sometimes they're just so busy that they necessarily have time to take a bath every day. So, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I would say the funk is kind of a metal, hard work put in. So, while some may find it offensive, it's certainly a sign that a dwarf has been making themselves useful and being productive.
Okay. So yeah, it's Not some useless dredge of society dwarf that just sits around a base all day. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, dwarves overall are a pretty, like, race.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very industrious, very prideful in their work.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So yeah, cutting back to Maya is able to navigate her way back to the capital. No issues with make your way back up the flight of stairs that lead into the capital building and speak to the same people that Togar to last bit. After a considerably shorter wait, the same two guards fetch you and upstairs to the meeting chambers, where once again, as you enter, the general motions to everyone else in the room, apart from the single goat knight who was allowed to stay last time, they all file out. And as the doors close behind them, he just looks down his nose at you and says, "Do you have what I requested?"
I do. Pull out the note and I hand it to him.
All right. And essentially, you hand it to the goat knight, who then walks it up to him.
Yeah.
All that. So, as the knight drops it off, the general kind of unfold scrap of parchment on which it's written.
We're speaking common, right?
I mean, in theory, you could be speaking common or dwarvish. They speak both, so.
I want to be speaking common.
Okay. Yeah. So he unfolds it. Word on the piece of paper. And that's where we'll pick it up next week.
Motherfucker!